I declare a quorum. I'm going to call the City of Groton Mayor and Council agenda for Monday, May 7, 2018 to order. Clerk Patrick, will you please call the roll?
Present are Mayor Keith Hedrick, Deputy Mayor Lawrence Garish, Councilors Joe Rusk, Jamal Beckford, Stephen Sheffield, Guinevere Depot, Rashad Carter, Finance Director Ron Newhouse, Clerk Deborah Townshend.
Okay, salute to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Recognitions, awards, and memorials. Anyone have any? Councilor Sheffield.
I neglected to speak about the City of Groton, and I guess congratulations to the City of Groton Police and Officer Harris with the new autism software program that was announced in around the news with Channel 30, and I'd like to congratulate the department on a great program for dealing with people with autism and our first responders, and for any issues that come up, to have that understanding of someone with that condition, so there isn't any misjudgments and so forth.
Absolutely. We are teaming with the town of Stonington. They have award-winning software. We're going to use that software, and we're going to tie it into the GIS information so that when a police officer pulls up information on a property, if there's anyone on that premises that is affected by autism, then they will come up. There'll be a blue puzzle piece that comes up along with a bio and a list of information associated with that individual. For example, things that could be triggers for them, things that they like, and identified close bodies of water, because drownings are the number one cause of death for people with autism. So we're going to use that, and that will help our officers continue to de-escalate situations when they go to homes or go to residents rather and respond. And I agree with you, that's a tremendous thing. Councilor Rusk.
Just for point of clarification, how do the police officers know about that information? How does it get into the database?
It is currently voluntary. That we've reached out to people that we think we know or have come in contact with in the past for information so that we can populate that into the software. And then we've also had some public outreach through social media to ask for additional volunteer information so that we can populate the database.
Thank you.
Eventually, we are going to expand that to dementia patients, and that'll be another level of added security that will help. So hopefully that'll be a good thing. It is. I'm so excited about it. It really is a good thing. The City of Groton was awarded the United Way Chairman's Award Series to the City of Groton and employees for Outstanding Achievement Award for year-round support of and dedication to United Way of Southeastern Connecticut. Thank you for being a hand raiser and a game changer. Thank you for living united. From the United Way of Southeastern Connecticut. The Outstanding Achievement is the Mobile Food Pantry, monthly Mobile Food Pantry volunteers and site coordinators. We ran a hat and code drive, ran food drives, provide campaign incentives, conducted a rollover campaign. The City of Groton volunteers monthly at the food center and the mobile pantry, and they've run hat, glove, and food drives, offering incentives for giving and using the rollover campaign to make donating even easier through payroll deductions. So I just wanted to acknowledge the city and our employees for this award. We will get that on the record. All right. Receipt of citizens' petitions. Do we have anyone that would like to speak? Okay.
Do you want this one?
It can be.
You can Come up here, but state your name, your address. You'll have 5 minutes.
Want me to hold that? I guess so. Mike Boucher, 16 Hillside Avenue. I had some questions on the digester failure, and I'd be willing to talk with someone outside of this meeting if I just want to get an okay from you so I don't have to ask questions publicly. Is that all right? We arrange a meeting?
Sure.
Just a couple of simple questions about the breakdown and what we're going to do going forward. Is that okay?
Breakdown. I don't, we
The,
mean-
the cause of the failure of the digester,
Oh, okay.
you know, pressure buildup and
Right.
situation and how we're going to correct it. If I can get,
Okay.
just
Oh,
say, okay, Mike, you can ask somebody privately, that'd be great.
Well, we're going to define who that somebody is.
Sure.
Can you make that happen, Director G'day? Okay, work with Director G'day and we will make that happen.
Thank you, Keith, I appreciate it.
Okay, not a problem. Response to citizens petitions. Okay, approval of the minutes. I need a motion to approve April 16, 2018 public hearing minutes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Need a motion for April 16, 2018 special committee of the whole meeting minutes.
So moved.
Seconded.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Motion for April 16, 2018 mayor and council meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. And a motion for April 23rd, 2018 committee of the whole meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries unanimously. Communications and reports. Councilor Rusk.
On April 28th, I was able to attend the AFL-CIO Workers Memorial, which is always very moving, as well as opening day for Little League, which was a lot of fun. Go Anthony.
Go Anthony.
Go Anthony.
Councilor Becker.
Yeah, I attended both of those events. There were some impassioned speeches on workplace safety, and Mayor, you had made a couple comments about creating a culture of safety here in the city. I thought it was a great event, and as far as opening day, that was also a fun event. Some fun over on third base there, you know, or on first base.
First base,
you know.
absolutely.
But yeah, it was a great event.
Okay. Councilor Sheffield.
Yes, I attended the Little League opening day as well, and that's all.
Okay. Councilor Depot.
I also attended Little League opening day, and it was very fun. I lived in the city. I told you guys I've lived in the city forever, and I have never been to opening day, so it was very fun.
It's pretty cool. It's a parade.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. Councilor Carter.
It was fun. Yeah, as well. Built everybody else. I would say that more young youth need to try baseball. You know, I feel like it's a dwindling, you know, sport. Don't know why. Well, I do know why, but yeah, just try baseball.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Garrison.
I had the pleasure of standing in for the mayor on Earth Day at the University of Connecticut at Avery Point, and read a proclamation from the mayor, and also spoke a little bit about Earth Day, how it came about, and who was involved, and which required a little homework on my part. But it was a very interesting day, and I did enjoy it.
Thank you. Clerk Patrick.
No.
Finance Director Yuhas.
The only thing I want to report is on budget and kind of our approach. We do have the revenue shortfall that I talked about at the last meeting with the Board of Assessment Appeals change that came through with our grand list. So I know I was given direction to put together kind of a spreadsheet with our contractual versus discretionary. I put something together very briefly that we can look at quick to make sure it's on the right track. I'm not sure if it is or not and how detailed we want to go with that. And then I think we discussed having a special committee of the whole meeting next week with all of your questions and anything that you have pertaining to the 2019 budget, if you could get those to the mayor's office by Wednesday, so we can try to get everything answered out to you in a packet for Friday for a special meeting on Monday if it's possible, just so that we can get all of your questions hopefully answered, which will then allow for the following week for the council to vote on the budget.
Right. The intent is to go through this, go through the options that we have, get a consensus on it so that we can put something together for you on the 21st when I officially present you the budget. So are you guys, and just in general, are you good with being able to have a special committee of the whole on Monday? Is there a time that's better? I assume you'd want it earlier, at 6 o'clock, okay?
Yeah.
I won't, it's difficult for me,
If it's difficult,
Okay, you'll be in Alaska.
but just,
what time are you available?
I mean, in general, typically 7 o'clock is when I'm available. This was a obligation to my family.
Understand.
Like
That's
extracurriculars.
7 sounds good.
So if
7?
7.
All right, so we will do a special committee of the whole at
Thank you.
7 o'clock. Correction, Deputy Mayor Garish will not be here. He'll be in a whole different time zone. Okay. We are trying to schedule the next joint town city council meeting. And we sent out an email about on Monday, June 11th at 6 o'clock. Are you guys good with that? We'll do that here.
It's going to be here?
It's going to be here. What we're going to do is we're going to rotate. We're going to meet once. Right now, the plan is to meet quarterly, and then we will meet. One meeting will be at the town council place of business, and the next meeting will be at the city council place of business.
There's a possibility that that is not going to be a good night for me, but the whole month of June until graduation is probably going to be challenging for me.
Yeah, that's true.
So I will try to make that day.
Okay,
What day did you say?
It's June 11th,
What day of the week is that?
Monday.
Monday.
Oh, it's a Monday. Okay.
Yeah, Monday, June 11th is your off week. That's your committee day week. That's why we picked it.
What time?
6.
So we'll schedule it for June 11th at 6 o'clock. Okay? Okay. And to keep it short, I'm not going to go through all the stuff that I went through. Committee referrals, do we have any committee referrals? Wasn't there,
Yes.
Counselor Sheffield?
Councilor Cart regarding
Yes.
for Park and Rec.
Beecham Park.
I mean, yeah. The possibilities of a road race. Is that what you're saying?
Fundraising.
Okay,
Fundraising. Oh, fundraising.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fundraiser for
Yeah.
okay.
I-
So we'll need to refer that to your committee. I'm gonna call it fundraising and give it a placeholder. We'll come up with another name because we're really not gonna be doing fundraising for the city. It's, right, I mean, we have taxes. If we're gonna do fundraising, we'll need to talk about this at the meeting about what it can be used for,
Yeah.
those kinds of things. But, okay, any other committee referrals? All right, new business, Councilor Rusk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution R-18-5-50. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize the extension of gap pay to Donald Miles for a period of an additional 128 days, not to exceed $6,727.68. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and I have asked Honey Niles to be here in case you have any questions for him. Are there any questions from the council? Any questions for me, or do you want it, or do you?
Yeah.
Okay, Donnie, if you could come up, just state your name for the record.
Don Niles, City of Groton.
Okay, where do you want to start?
I-
Counselor,
Go
Russ?
ahead.
is that on?
Yes.
Okay. Counselor Russ?
Thank you for coming today, and thank you for your service, obviously. We want to start with that, but the last time we met, you had said that this would probably be the last time. Does that still seem
That seems
like,
likely, yes.
okay, wonderful.
Okay, Counselor Carter?
Yeah, and just I think I can speak on behalf of us because we spoke about this and we spoke last time. We're in full support of you, as a service member, right? I think it's just even just asking that question. It's just because there is an uncertainty of when you will return, you know, and just for purposes of the people that live in the city that really that may not have that may not have the same views as us.
Absolutely.
We're just just making clear that we that it wasn't so cut and dry, because there is that uncertainty. But
Yes.
it's nothing against you.
And I understand this is a business as well.
Okay, all right.
I do understand this.
Yeah, all right.
Counselor Depot, did you have, I thought your hand was up, sorry. Anyone else? Okay, any other questions or comments?
I did
just
try to come back the other day.
Just thank you for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Council. I talked to the mayor the other day, and I was trying to come back, but
Yeah.
you wouldn't have it.
Well, that's true. He wanted to, and I can't.
No,
Good luck.
thank you.
So,
We look forward to you returning.
Thank you.
absolutely. Any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries unanimously. Donnie, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Counselor Beckford?
Yes, Resolution R-18-5-51. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize and approve a donation of $500 and no cents to Groton Bank Day, 20 Hillside Avenue, Groton, Connecticut. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay. Counselor Sheffield?
What time will Groton Bank Day begin? Do we have a schedule of the events?
They're probably posted.
Well, I'm
earlier.
on the committee, but I don't know
schedule ahead.
that we posted everything out there yet. Well,
I believe it's an
no,
all-day.
It's not posted, it's all day, and there's gonna be, Art on Groton Bank is part of it, but also the historic sites are gonna be open. We're gonna have a shuttle. It's going around Thames River. Heritage Park is gonna be open. The water taxi is gonna be ferrying people back and forth. So there's a lot of events. I'll try to get an agenda for what the day, what time it starts and what time it ends. I don't know if we've actually put down. I know Art on Groton Bank, I think starts at 9, but don't quote me on that. I'll get you an agenda. Any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries unanimous. Any, Deputy Mayor Garrett?
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-18-5-52. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize and approve a donation of $500 and no cents to Special Olympics 3, Michael's Way, Oakdale, Connecticut. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
There was a question that came up at the committee of the whole about whether we've done anything with Special Olympics Groton in the past. So I just went into the Springbrook system. The utilities is also sponsoring what appears to be the same golf event for $200 in 18, and then the previous ones before that, again, this was all from utilities, so nothing has ever come out of the Community Development and Beautification Fund. In 14, there was a $75 donation, 13 to 75, or 675. It looks like there was a golf event and something else in that year, and then in 2012. So it looks like 12, 13, and 14, then nothing until this year. So just to answer the question as far as what we've.
Great.
Thank you.
Any, Councilor Rusk?
Just for discussion, we've always said that we wanted to support things that directly support the city. So my question is, how does this directly support city residents, which I'm assuming it does, but I'm asking that question. And just for clarification, we had put down $500 with the understanding that we would discuss that today, because like 200, I don't have the paperwork in front of me.
It's in the middle. Was this
I think we have like
we
20,
put
what,
five-
2,500 left or something. Was that right? In the fund?
The amount left, yeah, the donations so far were the 1,000 to Children's First,
Mm-hmm.
the 1,000 to Art on Groton Bank, the 500 that you just approved to Groton Day, care of Art on Groton Bank. And then we would have this, like you said, $500 as the placeholder, which would leave 2,000 left
Gotcha.
to the end of the fiscal year, if that was the amount that you decided on. And
Just
then the-
throwing that out there for discussion.
Because we did talk in the last one about the 200, which was the middle one, but there was also the other option of kind of whatever you decided. The individual donation, as far as no set amount.
So does the council wish to change the amount?
Okay.
Okay. You had a question regarding participation. How does it impact us? We do have residents that participate in Special Olympics events. I mean, I can't give you a list right off the top of my head, but I know we do have residents in the city that applies. Councilor,
I believe there's a Special Olympics golf tournament at Shinnecock this Friday, I believe,
oh, okay.
We're,
11 o'clock.
that's what we're putting money towards.
I'm not sure if it's put towards that, but I know there's a...
That's what it was.
Well, that's convenient.
We, al-
That's it.
Councilor Carter.
we also, obviously, we have puffins in this city as well.
We
They
do.
Also, you know, they support special needs as well. So.
Yes, they do.
And just
And the Ark over at Sacred Heart,
Mm.
Ark as well.
looking, the deadline for sponsorship was April 25th. So just, I'm assuming that's more for their side from the print side of things. Just looking at the sheet.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries unanimously. Councilor Sheffield?
Resolution R-18-5-53, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize and approve the city of Groton to purchase 2 HD SD cameras with switcher digital recorder and accessories from BH Photo Video, 429th Avenue, New York, New York, for a total cost not to exceed of $11,000 and no cents, to be paid from fiscal year 18 general government operating budget. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries unanimously. Councilor Depot?
Resolution R-18-5-54, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council initially approve an amendment to ordinance 148, an ordinance concerning purchasing and sale of real property for the city of Groton. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries unanimously. Councilor Carter?
55, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. R-18-5-55. Therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council accept and approve the purchasing procurement policy for the city of Groton. Let's move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries unanimously. Councilor Rusk.
Resolution R-18-5-56, therefore be it resolved that in accordance with the provisions of Connecticut General Statute, Section 7-474B, the mayor and council accept the tentative collective bargaining agreement between the City of Groton City and the City of Groton Utilities Employees Local 818 of Council Number 4, AFSCME, AFL-CIO Union for the period of July 1, 2016 through July 30, 2019. Excuse me, and that the mayor be authorized to execute said agreement on behalf of the city of Groton. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is the information that HR Director Avedizian provided you guys in executive session.
I just wanted to clarify real quick, is June 30th, 2019, the July 1st, 2016 to June 30th, 2019.
Right,
That's all.
yes, it's backdated
Right.
because this was a reopener for the wages
Right.
of the contract. And then we will be, all 8 of our negotiated contracts will be in the next year to 18 months. We will be reviewing and renewing every one of them. So, something to look forward to. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstention, motion carries unanimously. Councilor Becker.
Resolution R-18-5-57. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council extend health insurance for retirees and group life insurance benefits afforded to members of the City of Groton Management Handbook from age 62 to age 60 to Nicholas Delia, Fire Chief. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Is that supposed to be from 60 to 62?
Nope. 62 to
Yeah,
60.
we wanted to draw, remember?
One backwards.
Because right,
Backtrack
remember
until
right
60.
now, he doesn't get them until 62, so he
Oh,
was
yeah,
going to
okay.
60.
Now I
Remember we
get it.
talked
Thank you.
about it?
And I'm understanding the wordage now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on this resolution? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries unanimously. Deputy Mayor Garish.
Resolution R-18-5-58. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize Groton Utilities Management to issue a purchase order to Calgon Carbon Corporation, 500 Calgon Carbon Drive, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, for the purchase of granular activated carbon for filters number 6 and number 11 at the water treatment plant, in quoted amount not to exceed $78,210 and no cents to be paid from funds available in the approved fiscal year 2018 Water Division budget. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I think we've talked about this. This is for the activated charcoal filters in the water treatment plant. Okay. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries unanimously. Councilor Sheffield.
Thank you, Mayor. Resolution R-18-5-59. Therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize an additional expenditure for the primary digester repairs at the City of Groton wastewater treatment plant to Hart Engineering Corporation, 800 Scenic View Drive, Cumberland, Rhode Island, in an amount not to exceed $120,000 and no cents to be paid from insurance proceeds. I so move.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. This is a new resolution, as you guys first heard about just a few minutes ago. We were tracking the work and tracking expenditures, and we recognized that we were 80% expended. So we reached out to Hart, who's the engineering group that's doing the work, to find out how much more they needed to do and how much money we would need. We reached out to the insurance company. We have a verbal authorization from the insurance company. Did we get the written yet? Okay, I'm still waiting on written authorization, either in the form of an email or a letter. I have, based on the amount of money that was left and an itemized burn rate that we are tracking daily, I have been told we have 2 weeks worth of money left. I have authorized 1 week's worth of work, and then I will receive reports to make sure that we're not going to exceed that amount. And as soon as we're close to that, if I do not have authorization from the insurance company will stop work, because I'm not gonna spend money that I don't have authorization for. Now, we talked to the insurance company, the verbal was around Thursday, right? Thursday afternoon, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So, really, it's only been 2 working days, Friday and today. We'll reach out to them in the next couple of days. We'll reach out to them tomorrow. Is that, we'd already scheduled to talk to them, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna reach out to them tomorrow to stimulate them to give us a written authorization. And then $120,000 should get us through. Hart had to provide a breakdown and the details on what happened and why they went up, why that task took them longer than expected, and what the detail is for the rest of the work, so that we can get through the rest of the work on the money that was asked for. So that's the status of that as I know it. That's it, right? There's nothing else. I think I'm up to date on that.
Yep.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Councilor Rusk.
So this will not be paid until we get the authorization from the insurance company, this $120,000.
We're not sure if we're gonna get that one.
Whoa. We are gonna, well, we have a verbal. Hold your question. Let me answer your question. Your question is what?
This will not be paid. We're not using taxpayer dollars to pay this to front the
No,
insurance.
No,
Okay.
absolutely not. The work that I've authorized for this week is from existing monies from insurance that the check's already been cut, that we've been authorized.
Okay.
So we will not exceed the amount of funding that I have authorized, that we're authorized already.
Okay.
We are, but I am tracking this to make sure we're not gonna go over. Because I'm not using taxpayer money for this.
Thank you.
If something happens and the insurance comes back and says, okay, this is to your point, if the insurance comes back and says, we've changed our mind, we're not gonna do this, then we're gonna have to look at other remedies, and that may mean go back to Hart or whatever. Well, they gave us a verbal that they said they agreed, they looked at the work, they had Hart give them a breakdown of what work was left, how many man hours it would take, what the burn rate is, the man hour structure is, and so that's where this amount comes in.
Thank you.
So they've given me verbal authorization. We do not have written authorization, but I have no reason to suspect that we will not get written authorization from the insurance company. Does that address your
Well,
concern?
that would be my concern, is making sure we'll get, the additional money. Should we wait on this motion till we actually have the money? Which
No.
is the next question.
No, this motion says, where am I? Give me the motion.
It's 59.
It's coming out of, it says we're from insurance proceeds. So if I don't have the insurance proceeds, we're not going. Is that,
He's saying it says it in here.
Yeah.
It's for, that's the only way, that's why how it's gonna proceed is through this. If we don't get it, then we're not doing it.
Okay.
And it's only been a couple of days since you talked to them.
Right.
and so-
Right, I still went to a different
Yeah.
couple of people, so.
I assure you
And,
that those that are involved are very aware this is of high level interest to me, and they will not exceed the authority that I've given them. It's been very clear.
I think Councilor Sheffield was referring to, because you're saying if we don't get
Sorry.
the funds, then it'll stop. But I think when he meant that, meaning the process as far as moving forward is gonna stop if they say no.
Right, there's a concern out there that if we stop work, we might lose these guys. But I'm telling you right now, I am not intentionally gonna spend taxpayer funds for this. Okay, so as far as I know, we're not, so if that means I gotta stop work and we have a risk and I have to go seek a legal remedy, then I will do that. But I think that's far-fetched. I don't think we're gonna get there. I have a verbal from the insurance company. We had a verbal in the beginning and then we got a written shortly thereafter. I have no reason to suspect that we will not get authorization for this. Counselor Depot.
Just a little clarification, the claim itself has been approved with the insurance company.
That is
The
correct.
payment of a claim is to make you whole.
Correct.
So in order to make us whole, these additional repairs would have to be done,
Correct.
which is why we've gotten the verbal authorization.
Correct.
So if they don't, if the risk of them changing their mind is relatively low, since without this additional funds from the claim, we would not be made whole. Is that correct? Okay.
That is correct. Thank you for that
There you go.
clarification. Counselor Carter?
No, I said there you go.
Oh, okay. Okay, I just want to make sure your question is answered. Are there any other questions from the counselor or deputy mayor?
Only that I trust you.
Okay, well, no pressure there, I reckon.
No pressure there.
Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries unanimously.
I think what he's referring to is that if you're saying you have a good feeling that it's gonna go through, I mean, you wouldn't put it on the table if it wasn't. If you had.
No, I wouldn't bring it here.
Yeah.
But I will, always, when it's coming from me, I'm getting things from direct reports and things like that. I mean, I have not personally talked to the insurance company, and I have not personally run the numbers, but I've had people show me to my satisfaction, so hopefully I'm a good character. All right, where am I? I think I'm at Counselor Depot. Okay,
Thank you.
next one, 60.
Resolution R-18-5-60, therefore be it resolved that the mayor and council authorize and provisionally approve the contract with BL Companies Incorporated, 355 Research Parkway, Meriden, Connecticut, for a total price not to exceed $25,000 and no cents for programming and space requirements for the City of Groton departments with fund contingency, and $12,500 and no cents to be paid from Groton Utilities FY18 professional services budget. Did I skip a line? I so move.
Second.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
Can we go over this? We
Okay.
haven't spoken about this.
This is,
at all.
no, this is brand new. Who wants to take the seat?
I'll start.
Let me remind the council, this may be new to a couple of the councilors, but in the past, we have talked about space considerations. We've even taken a tour of the facilities. The space issue is still a challenge and a problem here in the municipal building. It has been ongoing for a long time, and so one of the things that I did is I said, okay, we're going to have a committee. So I assigned, actually I got department heads to volunteer to be on the committee. Committee met a couple times, I met twice, right? 2 times. And on the second time, one of the things that was identified, the plan of conservation development back in 2008 has recommended that we do a space study. So the space considerations have been an issue going back that long. Was a recommendation that came to me. I asked how much money was it going to be, and then we determined how we're going to pay for it. So then I said I want a resolution so that I could bring it up to the utility commission, because we're going to have a special meeting, and bring it up to the council. This is short notice. It has not gone through a cow, but so with that, I'll turn it over to Carlton Smith.
Well, as the mayor brought you up to speed, the short version of that, we have a concern of expansion that's going to happen here at City Hall with different departments. As we do that, we do not have places for those expansion people to go on there. There has been a tremendous amount of different variations by different department heads of which way we should go on there. As the mayor said, we brought out the 2008 Plan of Conservation Development, which is still current as we speak. They're working on the next 10 years. I think you authorized that some months ago to work on that. And the task was by the mayor that we would look at just not this building, but we would look at the Park House, we would look at Zaberski House, we would look at the firehouses to make sure that we're utilizing all those spaces correctly on there, to the point of even if we have to for a short-term duration, go to some of those places and maybe combine some departments that may work together while we figure this out and whatever the outcome from the space planner is. Each department has, as a crude way of saying, a skin in the game, so we all want the same space, we all need the same space, we all have the same desire for that. It's not a secret that Electric Boat is going to expand. It seems to be expanding some days more rapidly than we've anticipated or Electric Boat has brought us to on there. I was explaining to Deputy Mayor Garish this afternoon about how he came in with an unknown $3 million project. To us, it's not part of this expansion, but it's part of their infrastructure. So there's kind of like two pieces that are happening just at Electric Boat. There's the normal day-to-day activity, and then there's other expansion pieces to this. So B&L is our company that we have vetted some time ago to perform tasks like this. We call them the on-call on there. We reached out, we analyzed what we wanted to do, and I don't know if you have a copy of the contract.
Mm-hmm.
You do? And so it is the second page and number 3 under building test fit and analyst study on there, where it talks very specifically about the Park House, the Zaberski House, firehouses, or whether an addition may be required for additional spaces. The feasibility of lease spaces will also be evaluated during this process on there. Some departments will expand and maybe contract 5 or 6 years later because that workload has gone away. So we have to look at it in all the areas that make sense to the city, short-term, long-term, inside here.
One of the things that we're trying to do in an attempt to solve our space consideration issues is not to jump to conclusions, and try to force fit a solution, but to try to look at what the next 3 to 5 to even 10 years potentially brings, but certainly what the next 3 to 5 years brings. There may be an immediate solution, then an intermediate solution, then a long-term solution. So that's what we're trying to seek and to make this work. Additionally, this will also free up some swing space so that we can move some people in, so that there are areas where some abatements are going to happen. For example, if we have to remove tile, that is asbestos abatement because of the tile and the mastic. So that's a challenge. So again, we didn't want to just jump into this and go willy-nilly into this. I wanted to have a long-term solution on where we're going to go with this, and that's what we're attempting to do now. Any other Deputy Mayor Garish, my apologies.
Only to comment that this building has been short of space for many years that I'm familiar with, and I'm going back a lot of years. And we do have other buildings, such as the firehouses and other structures in the city. So, and I don't think that that's ever been looked at. Could we use extra space that those facilities might have? So I would just suggest that it would be a good idea to have somebody with professional expertise to show us how some of that space might be utilized and relieve some of the stresses that are here. And I know that they do exist in this building.
Absolutely.
Been there a long time.
And the other advantage of doing it this way is we get an objective view, as opposed to somebody that needs space and I go and say, well, you don't need that much space, but I need more space. Those kind of things, this will give us that. And my direction in this whole thing was, there's nothing that's out of the box. Look at everything that we possibly can. We even looked at space in the basement. There was discussion at a point about possibly with the credit union, because that lease ends at the end of the year or maybe earlier, but the credit union is one thing, but still, we talked about maybe extending that wall out and making that space larger. And then when I walked around the basement area, and Carlton took me down there and we looked at some locations where we could move cages and we could probably fit an office. I'm not putting somebody in the dungeon. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to put an office down in the basement. Somebody comes in and says, "Where do you work?" "Well, I work in the basement." It's not good for morale, and we're not going to do that. We'll use it for storage. We'll effectively use the storage. We do have the space for the credit union that has access from outside, and I'm 100% for using that however we need to do it. But I will draw the line about, having somebody sit on a crate and working in a cage. We're not doing that.
Unless they want to.
So I think you guys would agree with that. So, any other questions? Is there anything else, Carlton, that you want to add?
No, what the mayor has said is exactly what we have worked on as a committee. We have on the committee is 2 police, a fire, Groton Utilities, and myself, and Human Resources, to make sure that we stay neutral on there. So it's a management committee that's looking out for the best for the management and the employees and the city overall. It's a 1964 building we've got here, and you've walked. Anybody that's got any little bit of time on the council here has walked in the auditorium and looked at blue lines on the floor. We've tried all kinds of stuff, and to no avail. We haven't increased our space that's here in the city to the area on there, and we're expanding. We're just expanding.
Councilor Rusk?
Just point of clarification, we are only looking at property currently owned by the city, correct? We're not looking at outside property as a potential?
That's not totally true, right?
So can you clarify?
We have in here, or whether may be required, the feasibility of lease space will be evaluated. It's a sentence in here.
So let me define lease space to directly answer your question. For transparency. There in the old Bailey Agency building, you guys may be familiar with that, 15 Thames, has been vacated by the Bailey Agency, and that is some property that we are evaluating, but I have not authorized any signing of any agreements of any kind, and we won't do that until I come to the council, and the council talks about this based on the discussion that we had last time we had this discussion.
I think
Councilor Carter.
I'm sorry. I think last time we made it clear that what's that? No, as far as because we were approached about space before, and I think remember that. You don't remember being approached?
It's clear.
Okay. I think one of the things that, or at least my standpoint, was that to try to locate spaces that are within the city, not on the other side of town.
Right.
Somewhere to be accessible to city residents. Here in the city.
That was part of it.
And I
that's
think
correct.
that was one of the big things. At least from my standpoint, that was one of the big things. Now whether we own it or we lease it, my major thing is that it's accessible in here in the city of Groton.
Yep, and that was of concern. There were some other issues that were brought up during that discussion,
Right.
which have not been lost.
Right.
I remembered them, and others remember them,
Right.
and we are sensitive to the wishes and the concerns of the council.
Baby steps.
Any other Question, Counselor Sheffield?
Now, you said, now the Bailey HC is on Thames Street?
Yes, it's 15 Thames.
The old
Big
Proto-Power
building.
The old Proto-Power building, Tricor,
It's right in the corner.
Proto-Power,
Yeah, Circle Motors.
Circle Motors, right beside the Submarine Memorial.
Yep.
Now, with that in mind,
The
since
first
we
one.
have already discussed the TIF project that we're trying to implement, that will also encompass the area of possible development in that area. So as far as choosing to use a public building within our TIF region, as far as potential partnership in that area.
Where you taking me? Because I'm not going
As far
there.
as Thames Street, the use of Thames
Yeah,
Street of
got
any
it.
building structures, since there is
Well,
a business that was there.
It just so happens that building's available.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
I
I'm
mean-
saying, but I'm just saying as far as the grand plan of what we want to do with Thames Street, would this GU project encompass, would that interrupt anything that we would want to do with a potential TIF project?
No.
He couldn't
Right,
answer that. though.
they would have to approach
Yeah, he
the
wouldn't-
city.
yeah.
Not
That's nothing he could answer, because we don't know who's.
Well, that's what I'm saying,
interested.
just trying to figure out, as far as in the future of Thames Street, do we want, would that interrupt any potential project that we may
No.
want to do that?
No, if somebody decides to buy
Yeah.
that and throw all the
Yeah, we
occupants
can't.
out,
We think
then
we'll
we
look
may
at
have to
that.
go get tents. But, sorry, we would have to find reasonable accommodation
Yeah.
for our employees.
No basement, but tents are
Sorry.
okay?
No.
TP.
Finance director would have to go in the basement.
So,
Back down the
That's a
basement.
good building, though. It's already, it's already,
It's-
set up.
it's wired.
Nothing needs to
I
be
have
done.
toured the building. It's
Yeah,
not a bad building.
good view.
But it does not solve all of our issues. We're solving all of our issues, or we're solving none. We're all in on this.
So we can look at that, and then we can look at the property, the old State Trooper, look at your Red Culture Street.
You're gonna love it.
Oh, go ahead. Councilor Rusk.
I would just like to really urge that we try very hard to utilize the property that we already own prior to looking at outside areas to rent. And if that means being creative,
That message is loud and clear.
thank you.
Well, I think that's why we're talking about possibility of using fire department. We have two firehouses. They may have some extra space, and I think that's what the study is all about.
Yeah.
Okay,
And the leasing of something would be another option.
That's
Yeah.
an option.
Beyond
to have,
that.
yeah.
all options are on the table.
Yeah.
So we're looking at the leasing option. We have looked at portables. That is something that we have looked at. We have looked at hard building. But if you talk about trying to build a new building here, you are now going to have to go out for bonding, right? And whether or not the Freemen have the will to do, whether or not you have the political will, and whether or not the Freemen have the will to do that, that may be a long-term project. But we are looking at every possibility.
And the motion, if I recall, is, do we want to hire these
It's a
people?
higher, yes, do the
Right, do we
study.
want to do the
Yeah.
study? That, you're right, it'll get us back on track with the motion.
Thank you.
That would be the point of this study, is to
Yeah.
really find out what square footage we need and what do we currently own,
That
and
is
how
correct.
can we utilize that square footage.
Yeah.
And we have to think in our expansion too. What are those other departments that may have available space? What are they going to do there with their future? Is it 10 years or 20 years out and we can use it for 5 years? They got to look at it all. It's going around and meeting with all the departments, knowing what they currently have, where they're going to currently go, and where they may go 5 or 10 years from there, because are they going to contract due to workload differences?
Right. Any other questions or comments on this resolution? Okay, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carries unanimous. Where am I? I'm not sure why.
We're at Rashad.
Rashad.
Oh, sorry, Councilor Carter.
Guess you can adjourn. R-18-5-61,
Thank you, Carl.
therefore be reserved that the mayor and council finally approve. What? It's the last. where am I at? That the mayor and council finally approve an ordinance authorizing the mayor and council to approve increases to retirees' pension up to and including those who retired in 2014 as recommended by the City of Groton Retirement Board. I so move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Any hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have no executive session. I'll take a motion for adjournment.
I'll move the adjourn.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, motion carried. We are adjourned.